Reacts and delivered to you by Just Eat and Pepsi Max. Guys, where do we start? 3-3. Barcelona versus Inter Milan. I mean, who would have... I didn't imagine that Inter Milan could score 3 goals, right, anywhere at the moment, let alone against this Barcelona team. But it just made for a crazy game, didn't it?
You get mad nights, don't you, where the quality of the goals and the quality of the performances, you could literally... We could sit here now and talk about the game longer than they played it. It was so good. From Marcus Thuram's flick, 30 seconds, fastest ever goal in a Champions League semi-final. The first attack of the game, and that was the touch paper being lit, wasn't it? It's fantastic.
It's crazy because as good as Barcelona are, their weaknesses are as glaring. Like if you play the ball, they play their back line so high and so aggressive that if you time your run to run behind and the ball just gets hooked on, you'll get in. If you get wide and cross the ball, you'll get chances at goal. You'll cause problems in the back line. If you get set pieces and put it in the box, you'll get chances at goal. But they're absolutely kind of like, they're unwavering in their approach that they're going to create chances and score goals.
I think they know the vulnerabilities, but they then back themselves, don't they, to score more than the opposition.
Felt in the game that I can't catch my breath at times. And we're sitting there thinking, like, looking at fans, and everyone was turning around like, oh my God. And more importantly, I thought we had the best seat we could have had in the house for the first 45 minutes to be just behind with popcorn, looking at the 17-year-old who I think is doing things that no other 17-year-old has ever done in football.
The confidence he's got. There was a great quote after the game from Simone Inzaghi, and he said, I've not seen a player like that for 7 or 8 years. So he's kind of taken himself back to a prime Messi, right? And he said, we had to put 3 people on him. So you've got the coach of Inter Milan, the current champions of Italy, admitting that the only way they could stop this 17-year-old wonder kid is to put 3 players on him. DiMarco, I mean, I said to you during the game, I don't know whether he's disappointed or relieved to get substituted, because he was just getting... They had to untie DiMarco when they got him in the dressing room after that. It was outrageous.
He's the youngest player to score in a semi-final. He's the youngest of everything at the moment, it seems. He's breaking every single record in that department. He's got around 50 goal involvements in those 100 games already. So in every 2 games, he's creating a goal or scoring a goal.
He was 12 during the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. When you think about us as adults,
that is
he was 12 during that
crazy
time. Yeah.
You know what? When I watched him, when I was watching the first 45 minutes, I swear to you, I couldn't take my eyes off him. As much as how much was going on in the game, the spotlight was just on him. And I was sitting there watching him, and every time he got the ball, and every time he engaged a defender, always had 2 against him normally, I was just more impressed with the amount of times that he changed the angle of his approach to the defender, shifted the ball in a different area, the different areas with which he touched the ball with his feet. Inside of the foot, outside of the foot, laces, back heel, and the impact with every touch was, in that first 45 especially, was a joke.
I said to you, and I stand by it, when you go to the theatre, the star of the show walks onto the stage and the spotlight lights that individual up. When he got the ball, a spotlight should have shone just around him so that no matter where you were in the stadium, you could see him properly, because it was that special, the way he played.
I can't get my head around just how mesmeric he is. And I think the thing that sets him apart, and listen, I think online there's been a big debate about young players now, young wingers, and they're talking about Lamine Yamal talking about as being the best and hyped up. But some other people online going, listen, we're in Paris, by the way, are you seeing the young kid Desiree Doué, who I think is a magical player as well. But I just think they're a bit different in the way that they play the game, and I think Doué is a bit freer. He roams a little bit more, whereas you know exactly where Lamine Yamal's going to be on the right-hand side 9 times out of 10. At the moment, I think Yamal impacts games in a more varied way, I think, than anyone in football right now. And Desiree Doué. So I would put him, I think, at the top of the tree. Doué, I think, is a bit he's behind him, but I'm not saying that Doué can't get up there and start going back and forth, me you, and be one of the players that creates that on the world-class stage in the next 2 or 3 years with the likes of Lamine Yamal. There might be another person that comes into that group, but I think they've got the potential to be up there doing that.
I think if you look at the 2, Doué is the more explosive player. He's got the pace. And he's different.
He's frightening in a different way, isn't he?
Yes, Yamal controls the situation. He's got everything boxed up. He's got all bases covered. I think he can control the game, set the tempo of the game, and win the game. I think Doué's got that explosion. So I think they're different. I think it's difficult to compare. I don't think there's a manager in world football that wouldn't take either of them offered. So, and as you just say, you could imagine them dominating for a period of time. I'll throw a question at you then. If Barcelona win the Champions League, the Ballon d'Or is going to be between Robert Lewandowski, 40 goals in 48 games, or Rafinha, 12 in the Champions League, 30 overall.
Just quickly on Rafinha, I'll let you finish that. He's the first ever Barcelona player and first ever Brazilian player to have been directly involved in 20 goals in a single Champions League
Outrageous.
campaign. So yeah, rightly so he would have been talked about. But you're going to say?
So I went in. I'm thinking it's going to be between those two. Lamine Yamal has won the Euros with Spain and was a key player for them. He scored in the last 16, the quarters, the semis. What if he's the difference in Milan in the second leg? What if he's the difference in the final? Can we make a legitimate case now?
Ballon d'Or.
That he wins the Ballon d'Or?
Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I know. 17. Ballon d'Or. And when you look at it, there's a lot of reasons why it makes all the sense in the world.
And I think it will be great to see that. If he does what you just said, I think he deserves it, right? And what I would say that it does then is it shuts up a lot of people that are really driven and motivated by stats only. Because there are people who scored far more goals.
Yes.
And have impacted in terms of just of delivery of stats. But the game isn't just about that. The game is about the eye test as well. The game is about what feeling that player gives you as well, and the impact that they can have on a stadium and people at home and getting bums on seats and off seats. Lamine Yamal, I think at the moment, I don't know if there's anyone more exciting to go into a stadium and watch right now.
The biggest compliment you can pay him as well is that when you watch Barcelona play, whether it's De Jong or Pedri in possession in central midfield, their first look is to the right to see whether they can get the ball to him.
Yeah.
So the senior players in that Barcelona team know that their best chance to win the game is when he's got the ball. That's including Rafinha being on the pitch, Lewandowski on the pitch. Whoever's there, they look to him first, and then they go down the checklist. If they can't get it to him, it goes. But it eventually gets to him somehow, doesn't it?
Well.
I mean, you think about it. In the game alone, he scored one of the best goals I've seen anywhere all season. He's been denied by Sommer with a great save to stick it onto the bar, and then he's hit the bar later as well. He's astonishing.
And he's put about 3 or 4 balls on a sixpence in a 6-yard box that Lewandowski's probably sitting there going, I wish I played.
Is he tapping those crosses?
Exactly. Right, we've waxed lyrical there. Let's